Top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. The size of the budget does not matter, but people-centered policies do, Dr. Campbell tells government. Speaker says he discussed procedures, not personalities, when he met diplomats. Education Minister sounds the alarm. Zero tolerance to gangs and bullying in schools. And stigma remains major barrier to leprosy treatment in Guyana. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Friday, January 23, 2026 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. With the 2026 budget set to be presented on Monday, January 26, the Partnership for National Unity Parliamentary lead Dr. Terence Campbell says that while anticipating this year's fiscal plan will be bigger, size is totally irrelevant as people-centered policies matter. Antonio Day opens our broadcast with this story.
As Guyanese will be tuned in on Monday to listen to the lengthy presentation of the 2026 budget by Dr. Ashni Singh, Senior Minister with responsibility for finance, the Partnership for National Unity is adamant that this year's fiscal plan must include people-centered policies. This was according to Dr. Terence Campbell, APNU's parliamentary lead, during the party's press conference on Friday at Congress Place, Sophia, Georgetown.
Size, however, is not substance. This budget is shaping up to be a public relations spectacle rather than a set of monetary and fiscal policies that will benefit the average Guyanese.
Dr. Campbell noted that more than likely this year's budget will focus more on infrastructural development, but questions the feasibility of these capital projects.
It is likely to be another one in which there will be focus on infrastructure to put money into the hands of the PPP elite, family, friends, and favorites.
Member of Parliament Sher Duncan, like Dr. Campbell, said that the government has perfected the art of ceremonial launches with no holistic vision.
Infrastructural projects, they tell this very, very consistent story of incompetence, underperformance, and neglect.
The APNU Member of Parliament reminded that his party's manifesto offered a people-centered plethora of measures that included a tax-free threshold of $400,000 per month, a graduated public service wage increase up to 35%, old age pension of $100,000 per month, tertiary and technical education stipends of $50,000 per month, among other lucrative measures. Ganesh Manipal, Member of Parliament, said that he's hoping that in this year's budget, the government can increase the old age pension, which is pegged at a staggering $41,000 per month.
How much will we see increase in old age pension? Will we see it going to $100,000?
Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Dodging reporters and lashing out at what he brands fake news. Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, speaks about what that Thursday afternoon meeting with several diplomats based in Guyana was about. The speaker, who emerged briefly after a closed-door meeting with diplomats at the public buildings on Thursday, accused sections of the media of ambushing foreign envoys and misrepresenting what he insists was a routine procedural engagement.
Today we met, and some members of the fake media accosted my friends from the diplomatic community, uninvited, and is now spewing a different narrative.
Nadir maintained that his discussions with members of the diplomatic community had nothing to do with personalities, despite the growing international focus on the prolonged absence of an opposition leader in Guyana's parliament.
We also discussed how office holders are elected, including the election of leader of the opposition. But we never discussed personalities, especially Mr. Azuddin Mohammed.
He further revealed that he has also engaged a representative of the private sector, though details of that discussion were not disclosed by Nadir.
I met with them, and we discussed the very same issues: how Parliament operates, how the issue of questions the ministers originate, is examined, and migrates onto an audit paper. We talk about our constitutional role.
The Speaker's latest comments come just days after a nationally televised address in which he fiercely defended his stewardship of Parliament and condemned what he described as violent, vicious, and unprecedented attacks from Mohammed and the Win Party. In that address, Nadir also took aim at sections of the media and members of the diplomatic corps, accusing them of crossing lines and undermining parliamentary authority. Despite his insistence that process, not personality, guides his actions, legal minds argue that the Speaker's words and conduct tell a different story, one where procedure is invoked selectively and the media is blamed whenever uncomfortable questions refuse to go away. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The recent spike in school violence has caused the Minister of Education to sound the alarm that there will be a zero-tolerance approach to gangs and bullying. Marvin Cato reports.
Are you supposed to be disrespecting a teacher? Are you supposed to be disrespecting your fellow students? So we know all the right things to do, but why don't we do them?
That was Minister of Education Sonia Parag engaging students at Zeeburg Secondary School in relation to gang violence and bullying in school.
There is no way under my tenure that I am going to tolerate any group of persons calling themselves a gang, any group of persons infiltrating a school to create what is called a gang.
The minister cautioned students that there will be a zero-tolerance approach to the issue of violence in and in close proximity to schools. This is a grave situation, and it has now taken center stage recently, with students from various schools being engaged in violence against their fellow peers and, in some instances, their teachers. The upsurge in these violent acts is a cause for worry, and the minister has signaled her intent to nip this issue in the bud before it becomes an epidemic where students and teachers are seriously injured.
I will work with every single authority to dismantle it. Because you cannot develop unless you are in a safe environment.
Minister Parag indicated that the ministry will work with all stakeholders to eliminate gangs in schools. In late 2025, the Ministry of Education launched a national anti-bullying campaign whereby the ministry indicated there will be moral and civic education as part of its curriculum, along with a website for reporting bullying. The upsurge in violence at schools has caused pundits and teachers to wonder how effective this campaign has been thus far. Simply suspending or transferring students from one school to another is not solving the problem, according to pundits. A more holistic approach is needed. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us, there is more news ahead.
No frills, just great prices at Courts. We don't just talk about it, we got it. Get the best in quality and prices on appliances, electronics, furniture, and much more. Get free gifts with select laptop and TV purchases. Shop today, pay later with Courts Ready Finance. Only at Courts, bringing value home. Offer ends January 24th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Rolf Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC, Manripo, East Coast, and Marara, or call 220-9624-629-4021 or 7880. At Krishna Roth Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. There is confirmation from the police, as first reported by HGP Nightly News, that suspected human remains, firearms, ammunition, and imitation weapons have been recovered during a targeted operation in Linden, as investigations continue into the death of wanted man Jamal Bourne, also known as Skinny. The discoveries were made on Wednesday, January 21, 2026, during police operations conducted between 10:30 hours and 15 hours at 3 miles Wiz Rock Housing Scheme, Linden. According to the Guyana Police Force, a team of crime scene ranks from the Criminal Investigations Department, supported by K9 units, carried out extensive searches in the area in relation to a video that had been circulating widely on social media. During the operation, investigators examined a burnt-out area where suspected human remains, including ashes and fragments of bones, were discovered. The items were secured and are to be subjected to forensic examination to determine their origin and identity. Further searches at a nearby wooden structure led to the discovery of a suspected pistol containing an empty magazine, 3 shotgun cartridges, a suspected 9mm shell, knives, clothing, and other items of interest to the investigation. Police also recovered 3 toy rifles concealed in nearby vegetation. All exhibits have since been lodged as evidence, while the suspected human remains are to be examined by a government pathologist as part of ongoing forensic analysis. Police have confirmed that the 6 individuals previously arrested in connection with the matter remain in custody and are continuing to assist investigators. Bourne had drawn national attention just days earlier after appearing in a live-streamed video alongside another man, during which both were seen openly displaying cutlasses, knives, and high-powered rifles. During that broadcast, threats were issued towards individuals described as enemies. At one point, Bourne was seen playing Russian roulette with a firearm. Moments later, a loud gunshot was heard and Bourne collapsed on camera, after which the live stream ended abruptly. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Member of Parliament representing We Invest in Nationhood, Tabito Sarabohali, on a radio program on Wednesday indicated her party's focus for Budget 2026. She highlighted that their main focus will be on corruption and where contracts are allocated. Marvin Cato reports.
Taking the lead even from the leader, our main priority will be corruption. Looking at where the contracts are, who is getting the contracts, and whether or not they're being given contracts using the proper legal process.
That was Tabitha Sarbohali, Member of Parliament and WIN representative, on a recent program indicating areas our party would focus on for Budget 2026. The party has over the past few months highlighted a number of alleged corrupt dealings and slothfulness in the execution of unfinished projects. There has been allegations leveled against the government by pundits over the years that they give out contracts to persons closely aligned to the party, and in some cases, bringing into question issues about the procurement process.
Motions have also been filed in Parliament dealing with the private sector minimum wage, which is different from the public sector minimum wage. We have a national minimum wage that guides the private sector, which is about $61,000 is the minimum wage for the private sector. We know the public sector is about $100,000.
She also highlighted the need for the private sector minimum wage be on par with the public sector minimum wage of $100,000. There has been a significant rise in the cost of living in recent years, with pundits signaling the need for the private sector minimum wage to be urgently addressed. In their weekly column, and local newspaper questioned citizens who highlight the need for an increase in wages to offset the constant rising prices of commodities.
What is happening in terms of retirement? We have a gap between when you retire and when you get the old age pension. And so that, I think, also requires some conversation.
She also touched on the need to address that 5-year gap, ages 55 to 60, when persons retire. She indicated that many changes can occur in one's life during the 5 years after a person retires, such as a person continues working a different job for less money, starts a business, etc. With regards to NIS pension, where the remuneration is determined by the last year's earning prior to retirement, having a job that bridged the ages from 55 to 60 years, would the calculation of one's NIS pension still be determined by the last pay the person received when he or she retired at 55 years, or having continued working during the post-retirement period, change the calculus in determining what dollar amount in pension one will receive, because he or she found another job after retirement. These are important issues that have to be ironed out. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
As the world prepares to observe World Leprosy Day, health officials are reminding the public that leprosy is curable, but stigma continues to prevent many from seeking treatment. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
World Leprosy Day will be observed on January 25 this year under the theme Leprosy is Curable. The real challenge is stigma. According to nurse Mandy Ali of the National Leprosy Program, stigma remains one of the biggest barriers to treatment, as many persons hesitate to come forward due to the fear of discrimination and social rejection, even when they experience signs and symptoms of the disease. She explained that this fear often results in delayed diagnosis and treatment, allowing the illness to progress unnecessarily.
Some years we do find a lot of cases. Some years you find less cases. This is because of persons being unaware of the clinical signs and symptoms.
Nurse Ali stressed that persons who seek medical attention at a health center or any public health facility can be referred to the National Leprosy Program, where treatment is available. Early intervention, she noted, allow patients to complete treatment successfully and significantly reduce the risk of spreading the disease.
Patient will develop these symptoms over 10 years. It takes a very long time. It's not something that's easily contracted. For example, if we're to look at a patient with TB or just a simple flu, it's not easily contracted like that. You have to be living with someone untreated for over 10 years.
Leprosy, also known as Hansen disease, is a chronic infectious disease that primarily affects the skin, nerves, and mucous membranes. While it is curable with medication, the World Health Organization reports that more than 200,000 new cases are diagnosed worldwide each year, largely due to delayed treatment. Addressing stigma, Nurse Ali said many misconceptions stem from biblical references and myths, causing persons with visible skin lesions to be shunned.
If you remove that particular imprint that's there in a person's mind, persons will be able to reach out for treatment, persons will be able to come on early diagnosis, and person will be able to just go back to having a normal life.
She added that the leprosy clinic operates daily and conducts extensive field work to reach patients across the country.
Apart from Georgetown, we do field work. We go into the regions, different region, Region 1, Region 8, and even Region 6 and 5. Mostly every month, it's a monthly routine for us. We go into the fields and we continue to treat our patients that are in these regions.
Nurse Ali also urged the family members and caregivers to support persons living with leprosy. As part of activities to mark World Leprosy Day, she noted that the program plans to engage patients currently undergoing treatment, as well as those who have completed treatment, to better understand their experiences, concerns, and challenges. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
No frills, just great prices at Courts. We don't just talk about it, we got it. Get the best in quality and prices on appliances, electronics, furniture, and much more. Get free gifts with select laptop and TV purchases. Shop today, pay later with Courts Ready Finance. Only at Courts, bringing value home. Offer ends January 24th, 2026. Conditions apply.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Thanks for staying tuned. The government of Guyana has secured a major concessional loan from Japan to upgrade water infrastructure in Diamond and surrounding East Bank Demerara communities. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
The government of Guyana signed a $7.2 billion concessional loan agreement with the government of Japan to upgrade the water system in Diamond, East Bank Demerara, and surrounding communities. The agreement was signed by Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Yu Todd and Japanese Ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Akima Umizawa, during a ceremony held at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Recognizing Diamond as a rapidly growing community, Minister Todd said upgrading the area's water treatment infrastructure is critical. He noted that access to reliable water systems is fundamental to building a competitive and resilient economy.
Now, the Diamond community is a growing community on the East Bank of Demerara, which is a central community in Georgetown, Region 4, and we all know that it's a growing community. It's becoming a major hub. And if the community is growing, then we'll have to upgrade infrastructure.
Minister Todd also highlighted Japan's long-standing support for Guyana's development, particularly in strengthening human capital and improving citizens' quality of life. He said this approach aligns with President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali's people-centered development agenda.
And if we're going to build out an economy that is centered around the individual, putting the individual first and ensuring that we can be a competitive nation based on our human development, then ensuring that the infrastructures like water is in place.
Meanwhile, Ambassador Umizawa stressed that access to safe water is a fundamental human need and a basic human right, essential for life and health.
This project is aimed at not only creating the safer and sustainable drinking water, but also enhancing the healthy life environment, which contribute to the development of Guyana.
Once completed, the Diamond Surface Water Treatment Plant is expected to significantly improve water access for thousands of residents along the East Bank corridor, providing a more resilient, sustainable, and efficient water supply system. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You will hear now that standing firm on the principle that success is not final, failure is not fatal, is the courage to continue that counts. Attorney at law Anastasia Sanford Fredericks is an example of resilience, courage, and determination.
Attorney at law Anastasia Nicola Sanford Fredericks considers herself a proud masterpiece of the ghetto and serves as an inspiration to young people from different socioeconomic backgrounds that they can achieve anything once they believe in themselves and God. Born and raised in Durban Street, Wortmanville, the 47-year-old devoted mother of three and wife during an interview with Nightly News recounted her journey to success, which she noted was faced with setbacks and failures.
I've been a dancer my entire life, actually, and law was never what I had in mind. Law chose me, and I like to tell people that. I did not choose law. I was not the child that you could have tapped on the shoulder and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I jumped up and say, oh, I want to be a lawyer. That was never me.
At a tender age, Nicola was a member of the National School of Dance and participated in many activities while in school. After completing her secondary education at Charlestown Secondary School, Sanford Fredericks took her dancing to another level amid exposures to other dance companies such as Classic, a local entity in Guyana.
And before the actual stage dancing, I was doing what we call exotic dancing. It molded me for who I am. Met a lot of people along the way, and as for some people who would do it to pay off a lot of tuition, I did it for the fun of it.
Being the daughter of an attorney, Jem Sanford Johnson, one would have expected that initially Sanford would have immediately ventured into the profession, but Anastasia said this was not the case. The attorney, who was admitted to the local bar in 2016, told Nightly News that her penchant for the law developed when she assisted her mother, who was a legal secretary at that time, with estate law and probate cases. She recounted that after school, she regularly visited her mother's workplace, where one of the attorneys, Joseph Elizar, now deceased, also got her involved in the interpretation of estate law cases. Sanford said with her mother and Mr. Elizar's input, she eventually developed a passion for law. In expressing her pleasant demeanor, she recounted working other jobs trying to run away from law, but she said it was designed by God to bring her back. Following a tragic accident, she recounted coming to a state of serious awakening. Heeding to the advice of her sisters, Sanford Fredericks furthered her studies at the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education. She then went on to pursue a bachelor's degree in law at the University of Guyana and is also a graduate of the Hugh Wooding Law School with a legal education certificate. At this juncture of her academic journey, she was already a mother with a family. Although Sanford Fredericks was in a classroom with younger students, they all developed respect and camaraderie. Her setbacks and failures of some courses during her LLB all paid off as of today, and she owns a law firm with specialties in real estate law, conveyancing, probate, family law, among other areas except criminal matters. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. Citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. It's citrus punch, fruit punch, tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
It's Christmas at Survival Supermarket, and our year-end promotion is bigger than ever. For every $5,000 you spend, you can win one of 30 prizes. One of 4 Samsung double-door refrigerators, one of 4 Samsung washing machines, one of 4 Samsung 58-inch televisions, one of 4 Members Mark sofa sets, one of 4 portable music systems, one of 4 grocery vouchers valued $50,000 each, and one of 3 sets of car rims, and one of 3 trips to local resorts. The Survival Christmas promotion begins December 4th, with the final drawing on December 23rd, 2026, and the grand presentation on January 30th at our new Little Diamond Supermarket. Yes, this Christmas, spend $5,000 and enter to win fantastic prizes at all branches of Survival Supermarket. Happy holidays and great shopping to you all.
They stop y'all don't go away when y'all don't eat me food, you know. Y'all got fair wash your place because I did my nails. When is somebody boy, they're gonna make a nice cake. Is my good cake on upon the same?
Madam, I got a call from the people in the community, and they said you are disturbing the peace. You're smelling up the place, and you're doing something, but your food always seems to smell good.
Peace, you get the best on these things.
These things just make you cook good. I want these things, and I'll carry them for evidence.
I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. Suriname has confirmed an outbreak of the mosquito-borne chikungunya virus, with none of the individuals who tested positive having traveled overseas in recent times. The Ministry of Health said laboratory tests were conducted by the Central Laboratory of the Bureau of Public Health (BOG) and the laboratory of the Academic Hospital Paramaribo, and that 8 cases had been confirmed. The Bureau of Public Health is investigating the cases, tracing contacts, conducting additional testing, and has increased surveillance to prevent further spread. Chikungunya is a viral infection transmitted by the Aedes mosquitoes, which is also responsible for the spread of dengue, Zika, and yellow fever. The disease is accompanied by symptoms such as sudden fever, severe joint pain and swelling, headache, fatigue, and sometimes a rash. Chikungunya is not transmitted directly from person to person, and a past infection leads to lifelong immunity. The ministry is advising people with fever and joint pain or swelling not to use aspirin or ibuprofen, but to take paracetamol for pain and fever. They also recommend drinking plenty of fluids, resting, and seeking medical attention if symptoms worsen. The Deputy Governor of the Cayman Islands, Frans Manderson, says the government is gearing up for a potential surge in migrants from Cuba amid the possibility of further economic deterioration in the country. According to Manderson, United States-U.S. military action in Venezuela and its control over the sale and distribution of seized Venezuelan oil, potentially cutting off supply to oil in Havana, may well encourage illegal migration from Cuba. Addressing the Public Accounts Committee, Manderson spoke briefly about the preparations for the potential arrival of Cubans, using the situation as an example of how risk management is becoming an important element for the civil service. The Deputy Governor said that one of the most topical issues now is illegal migration. The U.S. on January 3, 2026 launched a military strike on Venezuela and captured its president Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia Flores. They were transported to New York facing charges of narco-terrorism. With much of Venezuela's oil now in the hands of the U.S., and given Trump administration's hardline attitude towards Cuba, it's likely that the island will be cut off from its main fuel supplier. And now for some international news. The U.S. has officially withdrawn from the World Health Organization, WHO, leaving the UN agency without one of its biggest donors. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order signaling the withdrawal a year ago, having criticized the organization for being too quote-unquote China-centric during the COVID pandemic. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said it took the decision due to the WHO's alleged mishandling of the pandemic and inability to reform and political influence from member states. The WHO has rejected these claims, and its Director General said the withdrawal was a loss for the U.S. and the world. The organization pointed to its global efforts to combat polio, HIV/AIDS, maternal mortality, and its international treaty on tobacco control. Washington has traditionally been one of the biggest donors to the WHO, but has not paid its fees for 2024 and 2025, which has already caused huge job losses at the organization. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Delvin Neblet is up next with HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Friday, January 23, 2026. As part of a series of engagements with national sports institutions, Director of Sports Steve Nenval recently met with Guyana Chess Federation executives, reaffirming support for nationwide chess development. Discussions focused on regional expansion, youth and female development, international competition, and planning for 2026. The NSC committed support for venues, access to the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall, and provided a progress report on the new chess building expected in 2026. The meeting reinforced the government's partnership and commitment towards advancing chess across Guyana. Moving into football, Markup officials Nadia Diabru, Totaram Supnanan, and Miguel Oviedo were in attendance to confirm the company's partnership with the Petro Organization for Guyana's first tertiary education football tournament starting February 8. A contribution of $600,000 was presented to Petro representatives Troy Peters and Troy Mendonca in support of the one-month tournament featuring 14 teams from tertiary institutions. The partnership aims to strengthen Markup's connection with technical and educational institutions while promoting discipline, teamwork, and youth development through sport. Moving into cycling, action commenced in the Kaitro Attack Cycling Club's 7th Guyana-Suriname Cycling Group ride with over 50 riders from Guyana, the Caribbean, and within the diaspora departing from the Sheriff Medical Center in Georgetown on Thursday. The first stage features 145 miles and will end in Naikeri. Stage 2 will see an additional 75 miles from Naikeri to Coroni, while Stage 3 is set for 85 miles from Coroni to Paramaribo. The fourth and final stage, expected to be completed by January 27th, will be a 90 miles ride from Paramaribo to Albina. Into golf, the Lusignan Golf Club is set to launch the National Top Flight Golf League, an 8-week medal tour to be played every Sunday and open to both members and non-members. The league will feature full handicap play, weekly point scoring, cash prizes, and a trophy for the overall champion. Points will be awarded each round, keeping standings competitive throughout, with additional rewards for consistency and participation. The league seeks to encourage inclusive competitive golf while also supporting handicap development. Finally, in cricket, the West Indies secured a 13-run victory against Afghanistan in the third and final T20 International at the Dubai International Stadium on Thursday. Batting first after being sent in, the Windies reached 151 for 7 off their allotment of 20 overs. Brandon King top scored with 47 from 35 as Matthew Ford added 27 from 11. Zuraman, Abdullah Ahmadzai, and Rashid Khan each picked up 2 wickets. When Afghanistan responded, they were limited to 138 for 8 off their allotment of 20 overs despite a brilliant 73 from Ramanullah Gurbaz. Player of the match, Shamar Springer, was the pick of the bowlers for the West Indies, taking a superb hat-trick and finishing with 4 for 20 from 4 overs. The Player of the Series award was presented to Afghanistan's Darwish Rasooli. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
The size of the budget does not matter, but people-centered policies do, Dr. Campbell tells government. Speaker says he discussed procedures, not personalities, when he met diplomats. Education Minister sounds the alarm. Zero tolerance to gangs and bullying in schools. And stigma remains major barrier to leprosy treatment in Guyana. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.